Hello, friends. I know heaven, I know the true self, presence, whatever we want to call this, can seem really far away. And that's only from the perspective of the person who feels separate. So the veil is the me energy. It's the seeker energy. So when this energy of, oh my gosh, I'm here, but I'm separate arises, that's when the veil appears. It's the same energy. The veil and the seeker are one. The veil and something's missing is one. So when we feel like something's missing, that this is not it, that this isn't God, that this isn't heaven, we veil it and then we go on the wild goose chase. It's the same energy. So this one that has all the questions, that feels like something's missing, that's the energy that tells us you're not there. Because that energy of seeking, ego, whatever we want to call it, it runs on imperfection. I'm broken. The world is broken. Everything needs healing. So I'm going to go on a really intense journey and fix myself and work on myself and get away from this. But every thought, every feeling, everything appearing is what we call God, the beloved. It's no thing and something at the same time. A beautiful mystery. But all of this is that, even the ego. All of it is. And so us even trying to get rid of the ego, or trying to open our hearts, or expand our fields, expand our consciousness, there's so much trying in that. But you are here always. All of this is presence. Presence isn't something that comes and goes from somewhere else. It's all of this. Without presence, you couldn't even watch this. Without presence, I couldn't even freaking scratch my face. Without presence. Presence allows all of this. It is all of this. So we think we're finding presence, we're finding God. I'm gonna create enough space in my body to allow presence in, but no, presence is taking the shape of a contraction, of depression, of anger, of feeling scared. That's presence in the shape of that. And that is why self-love and compassion is so natural, because you're literally loving self. You're loving all that is. Instead of pushing things away, instead of projecting how you think you should feel and you should be all the time, yeah, which creates a corset, or like this tightening. But when we live with a yes inside of our heart, this openness, I'm not trying to fight and change and run away, but with this openness, that's how life meets you, because life meets you where you are, because it's the same thing. This is your body. So when you're open with a yes in your heart, life meets you that way. It's just one energy. And that's also why when the seeking energy is strong out here, is whoa intense. Right? Like your phone's ringing off the hook, you stubbed your toe, you spilt coffee down your shirt. It's just like one thing after another when the me arises, right? So presence, the beloved, is always here, but the me's like a light switch. It comes on and off. All right? And it's not wrong. It's not wrong to have an ego. It's not wrong to have a mind or to feel like a me. Okay? It's just like a shell for a little bit, if you will. That pops out. It pops. It breaks. But not by your personal will. That's what we're sold and taught on the spiritual path. You're going to work really, really, really hard, man, and you're going to become enlightened. No, this is all enlightenment. All of this is awakening. All of this is presence. This is freedom. Freedom is not a concept of being a certain way or an idea or an imagination. Freedom really can't be known, because everything we list under freedom is just going to be based on our conditioning. You know what I mean? Freedom is unknown. God is really unknowing. This is about unknowing, right? Knowing got us into the video game. I am real. I exist. Sim avatar. I'm in the game, man. And then we're playing. I know you. I know I'm here. I know this. I know that. Da, 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 da. We're knowing. We're switching knowings. It's a knowing party. And then boom. I don't know shit. I don't know what this is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know is how we get out of the game, if you will. Seemingly. Knowing takes a shape. I know we take shape. We're concrete. Unknowing. Vapor. Emptiness, if you will. Unknowing. Because we think we know everything when we're an individual person. I know where I'm going. I know I'm doing really good, or I know I'm doing really bad right now. Right? That one who knows and who's tracking, that's the energy of something's missing. Awakening's the end of tracking and measuring and knowing where you're going, if it's good or not, if everything's okay. It's the end of knowing. You know, because once you know one thing, then it opens up a whole new path to know something else, and know something else, and know something else. And I'm not saying like, oh my God, stop everything. Life naturally happens. If you're going to go to school, that's going to happen spontaneously. You know what I mean? If you're going to learn, I don't know, how to play piano, that's going to happen spontaneously. That's not the knowing I'm talking about here. It isn't. The knowing I'm speaking about is that addictive knowing of like, I have to know I'm safe. I have to know I am okay. I have to know that I'm a good person. That's the knowing I'm speaking of. Of course you know where you parked your car. Of course you know where your grocery store is. That's an organic mind. That's a natural mind. That's not the egoic personal identity mind. The personal identity mind, it's just completely restless. Completely restless. It has no idea what to do with itself at all. At all. And then it looks to others of how should I be? And it finds communities and it finds groups of certain behaviors or certain intentions or whatever it is, right? And there's no good or bad here, but it just shows that we don't know how to be organic. We don't know how to be organic. You know, I used to think, I gotta be this way. I gotta speak this way or talk this way, or I should be more still or more silent or whatever, because we read books and we see these things. But that's confining life, man. That's confining life force. To say, an enlightened being walks and talks and looks like this. It's a trap, man. It's a trap. You're meant to be however you're being in this now. In this moment, if you will. Like we don't even know what natural is. Because we've been conditioned. And that's okay. You know, we've all had the conditioning experience of pretending to be someone else or mimicking or whatever it is. And there's an organicness to life. If we just look, there's what we call a flow. But you don't decide how you're going to be. And that's the issue with the ego or the separate sense of me is, I'm going to decide how I'm going to be. Oh, how's that going, man? How's that going? Because life just wants to express as you, if you will. Like, why else are you in existence? Why else is this instrument in existence? A mistake? Get out of here. Get out of here. No mistakes. You're not a mistake. None of this is a mistake. Magic. 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 But when we're comparing and looking at others of, I don't feel that way. I don't look that way. It's trapping life force. Seemingly. Because life can't really be trapped, but it takes that shape of I'm trapped. This is why this inner light of yours, your inner light, your inner compass, whatever you want to call this, that's your guru. That's your guru. And it seems naive and it can seem like, oh, just trust that. Yeah? Leave behind the concepts. Leave behind the rule books and trust your heart. Trust presence. It's the same thing. Trust life. It's you. But when we feel separate from life, it's like, okay, here, life, we're having negotiations with life. Awakening is the end of negotiating with life. Because you're not separate from it. So in order to have a negotiation, there's gotta be two. There's gotta be two. There's only you. And you're everything and nothing simultaneously. You are these words. Your phone, everything. The breath. See, the me wants to separate it all. Anna's over there. Oh, Ethel's over there. There is no over there. It just seems that way. It's an illusion. But this is a monologue. Excuse me. Even without the sense of separation or the egoic sense, life still happens. Businesses appear. Children are being born. Food is being made. Toilets are being scrubbed. We think that we have to have an ego to have that or to do those things. No. That's what the ego wants to reinforce. You need me. Don't leave me. You need me to scrub your toilets. Don't let me go. Yeah, whatever. But you feel me, yeah? It's like a roommate that's been living with us so long. It's like we know, you're not doing any dishes. You're not really doing anything, but we kind of codependent. That's kind of what it is with the ego, yeah? It's not really doing anything because the ego never really has done anything. That's the illusion. It thinks it's the one that's in control and making all these choices. It's not, Okay? But we get kind of codependent with it. Gosh, excuse me. Of wanting to stay around, wanting to keep it around a little bit of a fancy there. And that's okay. You're not going to get rid of it anyways. It dissipates when it dissipates. Just like when an apple falls from a tree. It's done when it's done. You know what I mean? Like if you've ever had like a bad habit or like, you were addicted to M&Ms for a while and you're like, you're done with M&Ms when you're done with M&Ms. Or any kind of habit or anything you're trying to give up. You're done when you're done. People will tell you, hey, it's really bad for you. Here's the statistics. And you'll hear all that. You'll see the data, all of this, but you're done when you're done, in a way. And so the apple falls when it falls. No one's timing, It's spontaneous. But through listening to this message, there can be an unraveling, an opening to this, to what's here right now. Instead of thinking you're going to have to apply what I'm sharing to yourself to go find it. There's nothing to find. We're taught, seek and you shall find. Yeah. In the multidimensional experience, seek and find. And more. And more. Oh my God, it's a labyrinth. In a labyrinth. There's nothing to find. This is it. There's only always been one. The me's an added software that just chimes in, feels like it's making choices. There's only been one. So just don't decide who's doing things. Yeah, that's what we tend to do. We take ownership. The me takes ownership. Just don't decide who's doing things, right? So intentions can appear. Purpose can appear in presence. All of these things can appear, like I'm going to start this now. But there's no I that's starting it. It's emptiness appearing to start it. It's life starting it. And that's really hard for the me to grasp. Like, how does emptiness create businesses or babies? Don't you need an ego to make love? No. It's simple. Simple, simple, simple. Everywhere you go is you. But who are you? love you. Namaste.